I'm Steve Hunter. I'm the director of Out.
Hi, I'm Moxie Peng, the director of Disney Plus Launchpad live-action short film, The Little Princess.
And I'm Anne-Marie Pace. I'm the director of the Disney Plus Launchpad short, Growing Fangs. So you made Out through the Spark Shorts program. What was that program like?
The Spark Short program was set up a few years back in order to find new diverse talent outside the usual story stream of production at Pixar. What about you guys with the Launchpad?
Launchpad is a program that is designed to uplift underrepresented filmmakers to tell their stories in authentic ways. It's just a really precious program that have so much support from our collaborators to our mentors.
I learned a lot making my short. What was the biggest thing you guys learned?
The Launchpad program was really encouraging of us hiring diverse people from top to bottom, cast and crew. And so I got to bring on two creative producers who are also Mexican American and queer. And I think having that creative force of people who understood the story so personally was really beautiful and empowering.
Part of my journey and one important lesson was also constantly questioning the choices I make of story and what kind of ending we should have. As a director, your job is to make those choices and you can get lost. And my biggest lesson is really dig into your inner voice.
I think I fell into something similar. This was my first time directing, so it was like a feeling of who am I as a storyteller and a filmmaker? What am I trying to say? What's the best way to say it? It's so intimidating, but it's so liberating at the same time.
How do you feel that, being a queer filmmaker has inspired you in your story?
It's interesting that my queerness is inseparable from my family. It's part of who I am and it's part of who I grew up being, but that is also part of why I was closeted for so long. And so that's what I had to put on screen. The responsibility of families having conversations with one another.
That's also what inspired me to make The Little Princess. My script is loosely based on something that happened to me when I was a child. I had a best friend. His dad started to have some problem with me being feminine and not quote unquote normal. One day he went to our house for dinner and he just taught my dad a lesson that he needs to fix me. And I started to cry. And then my dad took on my side and he really stood up for me and told the guy that he loves me for who I am. And it's that freedom that conversation gave me, that my dad gave me, that was precious.
I'm tearing up hearing that, because we need more heroes like your father.
Yeah, thank you. What is the inspiration behind your show?
My short's about a 15-year-old girl named Val who's half human and half vampire. And I wrote it because I'm Mexican American and bisexual. And growing up, I struggled a lot with feeling in between those identities. And I think it's something common for a lot of us, both in the queer community and just, culturally. The truth is I'm Mexican and I'm not, half straight, half gay. I'm bisexual. And those are my holes and they make me whole.
That's beautiful.
And you did it beautifully and so funny. How do you both feel about the LGBTQ plus community representation in film and TV industry right now?
We've come a long way for sure. And there are so many fantastic queer shows and queer characters out there right now. And I feel like now what we need more of is just variety of the stories. We're such a big community. We all have such different experiences. That's actually something really so cool now thinking about it, of just the three of our films and how they do show a variety of perspectives. Because Steve, in your film, it does show acceptance and accepting parents, which is beautiful to see. And Moxie, you have a mix of the two, accepting parents and parents that do have a harder time accepting. And I love in Growing Fangs that the queer element is normalized, but not essential part of the story. And all of those stories are so important to tell within the queer community.
That's beautiful.
Yes. That's all I gotta say.
I just felt kind of magic because I slowly came into realize that I'm not cisgendered. I'm on the spectrum and I'm non-binary. A lot of people are identifying with that and there are more trans kids coming out now than ever. We always exist. We just didn't have the tools or the language to advocate for us, even identify us. The time has come for the world to like catch up with like the stories about queer people.
I think queer people in different cultures too, like across the world, like we're everywhere. We are just a part of it, right?
Exactly.
There's like so many different kinds of stories that we can tell. Now it's about finding the filmmakers to tell those stories.
They are coming out as we are coming out.
Exactly. There you go. What makes you guys proud to be LGBTQ plus storytellers?
For a long time of my life, I did hide the queer part of myself. I didn't come out until I was around 25 years old. It took a little bit to develop the self-love. It wasn't just like, I'm out, I'm proud, everything is like totally good now. I've gotten to a point where I look at my queer identity and queer part of myself as kind of a superpower. Like it feels like it's giving me this ability to have this unique perspective and connect with others.
Historically, we're here. We were there. So when I'm telling a queer and trans story, I'm not only telling it for myself, I'm also telling it on behalf of the trans and queer ancestors that lived way before me, and they told their stories in the darkest and most difficult times, so that I can be here to tell this story. And I'm telling this story not just for the history or the present, but also for the future. I'm passing by this legacy that my ancestors gave me to the future, to our children, and to tell them that they are loved and they are here with us.
It's beautiful, Moxie.
That was absolutely beautiful, Moxie. Thanks so much. It was really great to talk with you guys again. Maybe I'll see you at Pride.
Yeah, the next Pride. Well,
Yay. All right, bye.
Bye.